How are you, Jamie? It's so happy to see your face this time. Last time I talked to you was a few years back for the first one, and it was just your voice. So it's good to see
Yeah,
you this time.
yeah, nice to see you too. I wish you were here. I'm a little mad at people.
I wish I was as well. I would have loved to have been there. Um, First things first, congratulations on Everything Everywhere All at Once. Loved you in that. That was fantastic.
Fabulous.
Now, this film is called Halloween Ends. So after 40 plus years of playing Lolly Strode and hanging up her gun per se, looking at the entire experience for you, how does it feel?
It feels mixed. It feels like a death. It feels a
Yeah,
bit like a wake. Um, I definitely feel like people are, ends are hard for everybody, ending anything. Everything must come to an end. We're all going to come to an end. And so it's been very bittersweet. I have the great news is that I have so much creative stuff that I'm getting to do now beyond this, that this, for me, is I feel like I've really committed myself to Laurie Strode and her story, and now I can go off and do something else. But for the fans and my relationship with them, it's incredibly bittersweet. And there's never been a day on this entire tour that I haven't cried. There's something, I'm gonna go now, there's something
yeah,
very emotional here. And I take it very seriously. None of this is a joke to me.
yeah.
And I'm grateful beyond words for what I've been given because of her.
And you can see that every time you talk about Laurie, you see that in every interview you've done recently and in the past about her. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. It would be hard for you to let go of her for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm the first to admit I'm a complete pussy when it comes to any kind of horror film. I'm terrible
Let's
at it.
just discuss one thing. I would
Yes,
like to discuss something.
yes,
This may rattle some feathers, and maybe even in this room.
sure.
Why is it a pussy is somebody who's a scaredy cat? Is that the term?
I think that's
That
more the thing,
why?
but in Australia, we shorten everything and change everything. So
Okay,
I'd say it's scaredy
because
cat.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
because women are fierce. So I'm with you. I am as much of a scaredy cat as you are.
But for some reason, I love the Halloween films. It's really the only sort of horror thriller I can watch. It's weird. And I think it's because of your character. I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
think
because
you're
of
right.
Laurie Strode, because I love her and all that. So why do you think she's so loved by fans for so long? Even 40 plus years later, she's still loved by fans.
Because she represents your sister. She represented your friend in high school, that nice girl who was smart, who was a bit of a dreamer, who never had a boyfriend. And she had her life, her innocence ripped from her by this random, horrible, violent act. And somehow, because of the writing of John and Deborah, the identification with her as this good girl who's just trying to live her life, I think everybody identifies with her in a different way. Maybe for you, she's your sister. For somebody else, she's their daughter. For somebody else, she's their best friend. She represented everything good and possible that a young life had to offer, and he represented everything evil and violent to remove that joyful life. And I think that collision between those two forces in a very simple way in a quintessential American town is why that movie was so successful.
Definitely. And when you signed on to the film back in 2018, did they have this arc, or did
No,
they? No.
they had it in their heads. They didn't share it with me. They might not have mentioned to me that it was a trilogy because I'm sure I would have been worried.
Yeah.
I think David wanted to get the movie made. He wanted me to be a part of it, obviously, and he wanted to make that first movie as gritty and fun and quick and guerrilla filmmaking, and nobody got paid up front, and it felt so similar that when I came back from that movie, I was turned on. He, excuse my French, flipped my switch. My mojo came back. All of a sudden, I was like, wait, that's movie making? I want to do that. And it wasn't that I said I want to do it again with him. When they were editing the film, I remember exactly where I was sitting with him on the Sony backlot while they were mixing the movie and we were doing dialogue replacement. When we broke for lunch, we went outside, we sat on a bench. He said, by the way, it's a trilogy. And he laid out what the trilogy was. It's 3 films, Halloween, Halloween Ends. Halloween, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. The last movie is a 4-year time cut. We're going to explore this, this, and this.
Well, I did like the fact that the third film, well, this film sort of has its own little story arc within it.
Yeah.
So it could have been opening frame, Michael starts killing people for 2 hours straight.
No, you couldn't.
No, you've got this story and it works really well because you get vested. And then with your story as well, and the little cute things you have with the, I've forgotten his name, I spaced as well, about the...
Will Patton.
That's it, Will Patton. Like you and him on screen was adorable. Love that. So yeah, I love the fact that you sort of flipped it a bit because 10 minutes, 20 minutes of the film, I was like, okay, this is a bit different. I like this.
Yeah.
And then it starts going to hell. Yeah.
Right.
And
well, you couldn't. The end of Halloween Kills, which is in a musical sense, is the crescendo with clanging cymbals and big drums, and it reaches such a fever pitch, and the execution of Judy Greer in such a violent way that how do you start the next movie at that level? You can't. You must, like in music, there has to be an interlude, there has to be a pause, you have to be able to take a breath and establish the ground you're walking on. And then, as you said, ramp it up, bring it down, ramp it up, bring it down, and then ramp it up and then crash it. And I think they did a really good job. I was very impressed with that choice.
I loved it. And I want to get into very, very slight spoiler territory. I'm going to say this.
Because someone from Universal is sitting behind you, you just don't know it, and they will hurt you.
I'm going to say this in very loose fashion where you'll understand more than anyone who sees this. But in the final parts of the film, I felt to me it was Laurie Strode and Jamie Lee Curtis in that sequence. How was it for you, though?
Well, when you're walking down the street looking for a killer, you have a very specific point of view, and I have that same point of view. I have been doing this for a long time. Laurie and Jamie are interchangeable. The Laurie that you met in 1978 was not Jamie. Jamie was this flirty, dare I say, promiscuous young woman. Young, having a good time, very free. And Laurie Strode was not Jamie. But the David Gordon Green version of Laurie Strode is much more aligned with Jamie. And this 2022 version of Laurie Strode is very much aligned with Jamie. And that's the beautiful evolution of an actor and a character kind of coming together and becoming one. Laurie Strode is me, I am her. Your love of Laurie Strode is your love for me and for me to you. It's like this beautiful throuple, if you will, where we're all in a relationship together. You, Laurie, Jamie, and fan love for Laurie bleeds into me, which bleeds into you, because I can't do it without you guys. And it's a beautiful relationship that's coming to, sadly, an end. And I'm sad about it.
Yeah, and what an ending it was. Well, Jamie, I've got to wrap up, but thank you for playing Laurie.
Thank you.
You did an amazing job in this film.
Thanks a lot. And, I really appreciate it.
I'm going to go see it again. So thank you.
God bless you. Thank you. And thank you. Bye.
See you, Jamie.